Have you ever wondered what movies Hollywood never wanted you to see? The early 1930s was a wild chapter in movie history, a brief era when rules were few and the silver screen became a battleground for art, controversy, and cultural change. So, what were the movies that terrified the moral gatekeepers? And what secrets did they try so hard to bury? Let's pull back the velvet curtain and discover the top 15 pre-code scandalous films Hollywood tried to hide. Pandora's Box, 1929. Pandora's Box is one of those rare movies that still feels daring, nearly a century after its release. Starring the unforgettable Louise Brooks, the film takes viewers into the dazzling, perilous world of 1920s Berlin. Brooks plays Lulu, a free-spirited showgirl whose charm and independence make her the object of desire and envy for almost everyone she meets, men and women alike. In a society struggling to figure out what it means to be modern, Lulu's unapologetic lifestyle stood out. The movie explores themes of obsession, consequences, and self-determination, with Lulu refusing to conform to the rules expected of her. Director G.W. Pabst fills every frame with intrigue and mood, allowing ambiguous relationships and coded glances to do much of the storytelling. The film's reputation grew thanks to scenes that hinted at relationships between women, something that was almost unheard of at the time. No wonder the censors of the 1930s couldn't handle it. The result? A film as notorious for what it dared to show as for what it kept off screen. Pandora's Box was seen as a threat to polite society, but today it's recognized as a landmark, a beautiful, haunting reminder of just how fearless cinema can be when given the chance. The Trial of Mary Dugan, 1929. Imagine a courtroom drama with a twist, one that puts the woman on trial not just for a crime, but for daring to live by her own rules. The Trial of Mary Dugan stars Norma Shearer as Mary, a chorus girl who becomes entangled with a wealthy married man. When her lover turns up dead, Mary is the prime suspect, and her reputation is put on display as much as the evidence. At the time, it was practically unheard of for audiences to root for a woman who made her own choices and wasn't defined by her relationship to a husband or a family. Shearer's performance walks a tightrope between sympathy and audacity, portraying a character who's flawed, human, and unashamed. The movie's dialogue, crackling with tension and witty retorts, brought new energy to American film. Censors, of course, were scandalized, not just by the plot, but by the idea that a woman who didn't fit the mold might actually be likable. Chicago banned the film outright, and critics argued about whether it was uplifting or dangerous. Today, The Trial of Mary Dugan is remembered for showing that real life, with all its messiness and complexity, could belong on the big screen. I'm No Angel, 1933. If you want to know why Mae West became an icon, look no further than I'm No Angel. Released right before the strictest censorship took hold, this film is a celebration of quick wit, independence, and refusing to apologize for being yourself. West plays Tira, a circus performer whose sharp tongue and even sharper mind allow her to navigate a world dominated by men, and win. When Tira finds herself in court, defending her actions and calling out double standards, the movie turns into something more than just a comedy. It's a declaration. Women could be the stars of their own stories and didn't have to be defined by what others thought of them. The script overflows with clever jokes and sparkling wordplay that have kept audiences laughing for generations. Censors never quite knew what to do with Mae West. She mastered the art of getting her point across without ever saying anything too direct, loading her dialogue with implications that sailed right over the heads of the easily offended. I'm No Angel wasn't just popular, it was revolutionary. The film's enduring charm is a reminder that sometimes laughter is the most powerful weapon of all. Hell's Angels, 1930. Hollywood loves a spectacle, and Hell's Angels delivered it in spades. This lavish production, directed by Howard Hughes and starring Jean Harlow, took audiences to the skies with some of the most breathtaking aerial scenes ever filmed. But what made the movie truly infamous wasn't just the dogfights and explosions. It was the frank depiction of relationships, longing, and consequences faced by young people thrown together in wartime. Jean Harlow's performance crackles with energy. Her character is bold, magnetic, and not afraid to pursue what she wants, even if it defies the social conventions of the day. The film hints at romantic entanglements and situations that were considered far too risque by conservative standards. When Hell's Angels hit theaters, critics were divided. Some called it an instant classic, while others couldn't get past its daring approach to life and love during turbulent times. For audiences worn down by the Great Depression, the movie's honesty and scale were irresistible. Today, it stands as both a technical marvel and a defiant testament to the kind of storytelling that thrived before Hollywood's self-imposed rulebook. Madari, 1931. No film better captures the intrigue and danger of the pre-code era than Madari. With Greta Garbo in the title role, the movie spins a story of espionage, romance, and mystery against the backdrop of World War I. Garbo's Madari is a dancer who becomes a spy, using her intelligence and allure to survive in a world where trust is in short supply. What shocked audiences and censors alike was the way the film handled relationships and loyalty. The boundaries between right and wrong blur, and the consequences of living life on one's own terms become heartbreakingly clear. Garbo's performance is mesmerizing. Her expressions communicate worlds of emotion, often without a word. The film became infamous for scenes that suggested more than they showed, relying on clever editing and the power of suggestion to push boundaries. Even the fade-to-black moments were enough to send critics into a panic. But the real legacy of Madari is in its complexity. It refused to give simple answers, asking viewers to grapple with difficult questions about love, patriotism, and sacrifice. Possessed, 1931. Joan Crawford made a career out of playing women who wouldn't settle for less, and Possessed might be the ultimate example. In this gripping drama, Crawford's character Marion leaves her small town behind to chase her dreams in the city. She finds herself caught between ambition and the realities of an unforgiving society. What made Possessed so controversial at the time wasn't just Marion's choices, but the fact that the film portrayed them with empathy. Here was a woman who made mistakes, pursued relationships, and faced setbacks, not because she was bad, but because she was real. The film didn't punish her for wanting more, and it didn't ask viewers to look away from the struggles she faced. Possessed stands out for its refusal to stick to simple morals. Instead, it invites the audience to understand and even cheer for a woman fighting for control over her own destiny. That complexity made the film a favorite for some, and a nightmare for those who wanted to keep Hollywood safe. Crawford's powerful performance remains one of the defining moments of the era. Call Her Savage, 1932. If there's one word that describes Clara Bow's performance in Call Her Savage, it's fearless. Bow plays Nasa Springer, a woman whose life is a whirlwind of challenges and rebellion. Raised in the shadow of family secrets, Nasa refuses to bow to anyone's expectations. Not her parents, not society's, and certainly not the censors. The movie's storyline careens from one dramatic revelation to the next, touching on themes that would have been unthinkable just a few years later. NASA's journey is messy and complicated. She makes bold decisions, chases freedom, and isn't afraid to confront the consequences head-on. Call Her Savage stirred up controversy for its willingness to show real struggles and its refusal to provide easy answers. Clara Bow's energetic, emotional performance makes NASA impossible to ignore, and her raw honesty won her fans and critics alike. Despite, or perhaps because of, its notoriety, Call Her Savage endures as a prime example of the kind of fearless storytelling that only the pre-code years could offer. Babyface, 1933. Babyface remains one of the most daring films of the pre-code era, largely thanks to Barbara Stanwyck's unforgettable performance as Lily Powers. Lily's story begins in hardship, but she quickly learns how to use her wit, charm, and determination to climb the ranks of a powerful bank. As she navigates the corridors of power, she challenges the traditional ideas of how women should behave, refusing to let anyone else determine her future. The film's narrative was groundbreaking for its time, presenting a lead character who is resourceful and unapologetic in her pursuit of a better life. Rather than being punished or sidelined, Lily's ambitions are shown as both understandable and, at times, admirable. This honesty was shocking for contemporary audiences, especially those who believe that women should always follow society's rules. Censors demanded numerous changes before the film could be released, but even in its edited form, Babyface stands as a bold testament to the resilience and complexity of its heroine. It asks viewers to consider ambition, survival, and the cost of breaking barriers, making it a standout of pre-code cinema. Redheaded Woman, 1932. Jean Harlow was never afraid to make waves, and Redheaded Woman is a perfect example of her rebellious spirit. In this lively comedy drama, Harlow plays Lil Andrews, a secretary determined to rise in the world by winning the affections of a wealthy boss, regardless of who gets hurt along the way. Lil's relentless pursuit of success turns the social ladder into her personal playground. What made the film so scandalous wasn't just Lil's ambition, but the way the movie winked at the audience, encouraging them to root for her despite her schemes. The dialogue is fast-paced and filled with innuendo, allowing viewers to read between the lines even when the censors were watching. Harlow's performance is both mischievous and magnetic. She turns Lil into a character who's fun to watch even as she breaks all the rules. At a time when Hollywood heroines were expected to be pure and demure, Redheaded Woman shattered expectations. The film's popularity and the controversy it sparked helped cement Harlow's status as a legend of the silver screen. Three on a Match, 1932. Three on a Match is a gritty ensemble drama starring Joan Blondell, Anne Dvorak, and Bette Davis. The film traces the lives of three women who reconnect years after childhood, each taking a very different path through adulthood. The story plunges into topics such as addiction, temptation, and the consequences of risky choices, making it one of the darker films of the pre-code era. What sets this movie apart is its refusal to offer tidy resolutions. The women's lives intersect and unravel in unexpected ways, with the script handling difficult subjects with a frankness that must have shocked its original audiences. Three on a Match doesn't shy away from showing the toll that poor choices and tough circumstances can take. Anne Dvorak's performance is particularly memorable, capturing the struggles of a woman fighting to hold on in the face of adversity. The film's raw honesty drew both praise and outrage, leading to efforts to censor or ban it in some places. Today, Three on a Match stands as a testament to the power of stories that dare to confront life's harshest realities. Scarface, 1932. Long before gangster movies became a Hollywood staple, Scarface broke new ground with its unflinching portrait of ambition and the dark side of the American dream. Paul Mooney stars as Tony Camonte, a small-time hood who rises through the criminal underworld with ruthless determination. The film is filled with action, suspense, and a look at the consequences of unchecked ambition. Scarface didn't just thrill audiences, it provoked a national debate. Critics and reformers worried that the movie glorified lawlessness, while others were captivated by its intensity and style. Director Howard Hawks pulled no punches, crafting scenes that were both riveting and, at times, unsettling. The film's reputation only grew after censors demanded significant cuts and changes, particularly to scenes that hinted at complicated relationships or showed the impact of Tony's choices on those around him. Despite, or perhaps because of, these controversies, Scarface remains a landmark of the genre and a defining moment of the pre-code era. The Story of Temple Drake, 1933. Based on a controversial novel by William Faulkner, The Story of Temple Drake is a haunting exploration of innocence, danger, and survival. Miriam Hopkins stars as Temple, a young woman whose carefree life is shattered after a series of traumatic events. The film doesn't shy away from the darkness that can lurk beneath polite society, and its willingness to confront taboo topics made it one of the most debated movies of its time. What makes the film so powerful is Hopkins' performance, which captures both vulnerability and inner strength. Temple is forced to navigate a world where trust is a luxury and every decision has consequences. The movie's realistic portrayal of her journey drew sharp criticism from those who wanted to protect audiences from dangerous ideas. Censors demanded cuts, and in some regions the movie was banned outright. But The story of Temple Drake's legacy endures. It's a film that asks difficult questions and refused to provide easy answers. For viewers today, it stands as a testament to the courage of filmmakers who dared to tell the stories others wanted to hide. Freaks, 1932. Few films have a reputation quite like Freaks. Directed by Todd Browning, the movie tells the story of a traveling circus community where the so-called outsiders are anything but helpless. Browning cast real circus performers in the leading roles, making the film's depiction of difference both compassionate and revolutionary. What shocked audiences wasn't just the presence of characters who looked different from mainstream Hollywood stars, but the way the film turned expectations upside down. The freaks are portrayed as loyal and loving, while the real villains are those who would exploit or harm them. The film's final act, which sees the community standing up for itself, remains one of the most iconic moments in movie history. Censors and critics recoiled at the movie's willingness to challenge social norms. Freaks was banned in multiple countries and pulled from theaters after a short run. Today, it's seen as a cult classic, a film that asked viewers to reconsider their definitions of beauty, strength, and family. Night Nurse, 1931. Barbara Stanwyck returns to our list with Night Nurse, a fast-paced drama that pulls no punches. Stanwyck plays Laura Hart, a young nurse thrown into a world of privilege, danger, and secrets when she takes a job caring for 2 children in a wealthy home. When she discovers the children are in danger, Laura is forced to make difficult choices to protect them. Night Nurse is notable for its blend of suspense, social commentary, and dark humor. The movie delves into the challenges faced by working women, highlighting both the obstacles and the resourcefulness required to navigate a male-dominated world. Clark Gable plays a chilling villain, adding to the film's intensity. The movie drew criticism for its depiction of violence and its willingness to portray authority figures as corrupt or untrustworthy. Yet it's this honesty and grit that have kept Night Nurse in the spotlight. It remains a standout of the pre-code era, with Stanwyck's performance embodying both strength and compassion. She Done Him Wrong, 1933. We close our list with another unforgettable Mae West performance. She Done Him Wrong is the kind of film that only the pre-code years could have produced. Sly, witty, and packed with enough charm to keep audiences coming back decade after decade. West plays Lady Lou, a singer in a lively saloon who manages to outsmart everyone around her with wit and confidence. The film's script sparkles with double entendres and clever banter, allowing West to navigate the boundaries of what could be shown or implied. Cary Grant, in an early role, provides the perfect foil to West's larger-than-life persona. Together, they light up the screen with a chemistry that's as funny as it is unforgettable. Critics at the time were both captivated and scandalized by the film's refusal to play by the rules. Lady Lou wasn't a victim or a saint. She was a woman in control of her own destiny, and that was more shocking than any special effect. She'd Done Him Wrong is a perfect send-off for our list, a reminder that the pre-code era was about more than breaking rules. It was about daring to imagine what was possible. The world of pre-code Hollywood is a treasure trove of bold stories, unforgettable characters, and cinematic risks that shaped the movies we love today. If you enjoyed this journey into Hollywood's wild past, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with your fellow film fans, and subscribe for more stories from cinema's untamed history. Got a favorite pre-code film or a scandalous classic I missed? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the best stories are the ones they tried to keep hidden.